Everyone, how's it going? Thought I might as well start the stream a bit early, just because, well, there wasn't that much going on in the lesson, really. I've already checked it out and everything, so I've got some time right now. I wanted to do it early, because it was either now, or I do it much later on, because I've got something I need to do later, so this is the only time I have, but we do have a lot of time, so it's fine, but anyways. There's a few things I wanted to talk about in the stream, but first of all, what we're doing, same as usual, look at the unit and the arc and stuff. So I'm kind of glad that this is a permanent unit. We'll look at that, I guess, first. That's the first thing we should do. I'm quite glad it's a permanent unit because I didn't really want to use crystals, but we're probably going to end up using a few crystals anyway because I do want to do the step gacha, but we're going to do that later once we get to it. But let's look at the unit first. She looks pretty cool. Now, I personally haven't started the story yet. I wanted to start a new story, but since there was a time trial, I haven't really had the time to do that at the moment. But I think at least over the next week or so, I'm probably going to start doing the story, or when I feel like I have time and things like that, because I do love the story. It's probably my favourite part of this game. So, stats, interesting stats. HP is okay. Everything, strength, defense, into mind, everything above 1000, which is nice to see, because if it's above 1000, it's usually pretty nice. Nothing crazy high though, but attribute resistance -25 to light, which makes sense because she's a dark attacker. I don't know if I should call her a DPS or not, because we'll see, but ailment resistance is nil to poison. Okay, nil to curse is pretty good, and resistance to stun is pretty good too. So this unit's quite interesting, which we'll get to in a second, but I didn't think she would have nil to poison, but I guess it kind of makes sense. So abilities, haven't really looked too much into abilities, but I do remember her skill 2 being pretty slow. I was hoping it was going to be faster than that. I'm not too excited with her abilities, really, but it could be okay, but I don't think it's going to be really anything focused on damage. Mostly just being useful. So skill 1, frontal area, dark combo attack, so she's going to be a dark attacker, and chance to give enemy poison. So this unit is mostly focused on poison, if you can't really tell. I think it's pretty cool because we don't really get that many ailment units, and I feel like they usually last quite a long time, for example V, but he's still the best unit for ailments because his normal attacks are so good and you can spam them and he's long range. So he's a different case, but we don't get that many ailment units, and I really like those units. Now, this unit doesn't have Paranoia, which would have been great because I love that skill so much, especially on melee. But anyways, skill 2, instantly close the gap skill, which is nice to have, at least one of those. So, dark combo attack again, cut enemy poison resistance. So, that's probably a debuff. Chance to debuff the enemy to cut their poison resistance, which is pretty good. But sad thing is, I think poison is probably the... I don't really think too much about poison because I usually think, oh, it's not that good. Just, what does it really do? I don't know. Inflicts an ailment, of course, and then you can activate Terra Mouth. I guess that's good, but apart from that, if you think of the effect in itself, poison don't really do much in this game. I mean, I don't really look too much at poison, so it could be good, but I don't really know. Skill 3, wide area dark combo attack around the unit. So it is around the unit. I was kind of hoping that it wasn't, because if it's around the unit, then you have to be quite close for it to get everything. Chance to give poison or illness, or both, which is pretty good because illness is not poison, so more ailments the better, I would say. Now her special is pretty interesting. I kind of like it, but it's against one enemy. Dark combo attack to one enemy, chance to give blind, silence, curse, and or deadly poison. So deadly poison we don't have, or we haven't seen very much, and it's kind of a new thing, but not really, because I think we've seen it a few times before, but we haven't really had it on a unit before. So it could be interesting to try that out on a new unit with deadly poison. I don't know how good that's going to be, but we'll see. So traits, nothing really crazy. I mean, the damage cap's in my opinion not that high. I kind of would have liked more damage cap, but Maybe her paid equipment has some damage cap to make up for it, who knows. Dark damage 40%, damage cap plus 3000 is okay, but the thing that I'm thinking of is 3000 damage cap is that much for a trait. We've got units like even Logzeus, which is quite old now, but he has 10,000 damage cap on his trait 1. Why can't we get more of that, you know, because that's just 10,000 damage cap all the time. And this unit just gets 3000, which isn't that much, but it's probably because she can stack other damage caps that she has here too. Battle start, give all enemies cut poison resistant debuff, which is pretty useful if you think about it, because it's going to stack with a new mouth. So if you have V and this unit, which I don't really know how to pronounce properly, so I'm not going to try because it's a strange name. You've got to agree with me with that one, but if you had a Nullamelf with V and this unit, then V inflicts a Nullamelf at the start of the battle, and this unit gives a cut poison resistance debuff to everyone as well. So at the start of the battle, if you have those two units in your team, you're instantly cutting everyone's poison resistance by -2, which is pretty good. So if they have nil, they get cut all the way down to 0 basically, so they don't have any resistance, and then you can start poisoning them. I think it sounds pretty good, but at the same time, I don't really think it's going to be that useful. So dark damage to all enemies with poison or deadly poison, plus 30% damage cap 2000. More damage cap and damage is pretty nice. When giving poisoned enemies poison again, dark damage cap 200, maximum of 2000. Doesn't reset each rave, so that could be good. So I guess that's okay, because in total there's quite a bit of damage cap here, but you have to kind of achieve it first, you know. So more conditional damage cap, but you are getting some more damage total as well, so I guess that's okay. But nothing really crazy, because she's going to be a permanent unit, so don't expect anything broken, but it seems decent anyways. Duration of status ailments given by unit plus 25% is alright. Damage taken from enemies with status ailments minus 20%, which is pretty good. When taking attack, cut damage based on number of debuffs on the enemy. So if they have more debuffs, then they're going to do less damage, or at least they're going to do less damage to this unit. So I can see that being useful and having some synergy with like Bowser, because he inflicts a lot of debuffs. So that could be pretty useful, and since you're taking a lot less damage, that could be useful for like the maze too, because the maze does a lot of damage. So I still think she's going to be a useful unit to have, specifically for the maze and potentially arena if you really want to, but I don't know about that, because in my opinion it doesn't sound the best for arena. But some people could come up with some crazy synergies with this unit, with like this unit would be, and some other units like maybe Bowser and Melee, but those kind of teams could be interesting, but I don't know how viable they're going to be. So those are the traits. There's nothing really crazy or interesting in the traits in my opinion, but it's still okay. Now she's got a lot of skills here, some interesting skills actually. God heal, resist poison, all allies poison resistance +1. That's pretty interesting. Anula mouth, kind of expected. Poison drinker, when activated, momentarily cut units poison resistance, give unit poison. If already poison, give deadly poison. So she has a skill down here somewhere that increases the damage cap based on if she's got poison or deadly poison, which is interesting because she gets more damage when she has a poison ailment. But you have to use that time to cast this to get that damage cap, so it's kind of time wasted that you could be using doing more damage instead. So that's kind of it could be okay, but I personally don't care too much. It kind of depends if you want to reach maximum potential, I guess, and want to spend that time casting things. Arcane up 4. Now she's not a mage. I thought she was going to be a mage because I think she's classified as a sorcerer, right? Yeah. So it's kind of strange that she's a sorcerer, but she's not actually a mage. She has no magic skills, and she does have arcane ups, but she does have Thaumaturgy ring down here somewhere. Critical up 3, advanced aim vitals, no proud force though, but it's still okay. I do like critical up 3. Boost Slayer is nice to have, it's pretty good. Special boost. We're seeing a lot more slayers on units recently, which kind of expected at this point. Apart from a few units like Rain didn't have any, but he made up for that quite a bit. Poison research, illness research, corrosion fangs, so she kind of focused on poison and illness. I mean, more focused on poison, but she does have some illness application, like on her skill 3. She can inflict illness on her skill 3, which is interesting. Corrosion Fang, I personally like Corrosion Fang. Chance to debuff enemies during normal attacks, so physical attacks do 20% more damage. I personally like this on units like V, or any unit that has a pretty good normal attack that you would want to use, because doing 20% more damage is quite a good amount. So having that already is pretty nice. I don't know what her normal attacks look like, haven't seen it. Haven't seen her in the story yet, but I'll get to that at some point. Auto Advance Circle, gradually recover MP, kind of strange. I guess because she has some magic here, kind of makes sense a little bit. Auto Haste is nice, Auto Heal is very good. I do like Auto Heal, especially for Arena. A tank with Auto Heal is incredibly annoying. I hate those. They're just difficult to kill, like Sarah. Very, very frustrating, but maybe she could be a tank as well. If you think about it, she could inflict a lot of poison and do less damage from enemies that have poison, and then just be a tank. I mean, I don't know. You could try if you want. I mean, maybe some people try it, but I don't know about that. It might not even be the best idea, but we'll see what happens with Arena. We have no idea. Most people probably can't be bothered. They just stick with Agrabos, which is fine. Dark High Drive, Dark Attack Raise frees more damage cap, which is nice to see that. Dark Critical Raise. Terramorph 1 and 2 is kind of expected, but she doesn't have Terramorph 3. So if you have Melee Mare, UR you can put this on her and get even more damage cap from that trait, and also Terramorph 3. So I think that could be some good synergy there with even more damage cap if you really want it, which could be if you want more damage potential. But I don't think you're really going to focus her as a main DPS, but you could, because it's still not terrible, but it's just not comparable to the most recent units that we've got. Terror Jail, less damage taken from enemies with stats ailments, kind of enforces the idea of if an enemy has poison, she's going to take less damage, which I kind of like that because her poison application is pretty good. Thaumaturgy Ring is kind of expected. Boost physical damage based on intelligence, which she does have some arcane up for right here, so kind of makes sense. And her stats are kind of balanced between strength and int, so kind of expected, and I do like those units quite a lot, Thaumaturgy Ring, because it kind of, to me it feels like they're stronger because they can scale off strength and intelligence at the same time. Strong Remedy, regenerate MP and boost skill recovery while inflicted by status ailment. So this is interesting because you can abuse this by inflicting herself with poison, or deadly poison, and then you're going to get more damage cap, as well as more skill recovery rate and MP regeneration. Could be interesting, but I don't know how good that's going to be. I don't think it's going to be that amazing, but it's still something. Dual wield is nice to have. I'm glad she has this, because having dual wield, having double the amount of hits on an ailment unit is very useful, because it basically doubles the chance of inflicting the ailments if your skills can, or at least if your normal attacks can, inflict a status ailment. Like with his research skills, having double the amount of hits does benefit that quite a bit, so that is kind of useful. But for skills I don't think it matters, because I know in some cases, or most cases, that units inflict ailments is basically on their last hit or something, but maybe if they have dual wield it's still going to increase the chance anyways, I would assume so. Claw Boost and Claw Mega Boost, yeah, the ads are there just for, I don't know, it happens, but you're not really missing anything. I mean, you kind of are, but don't worry about it. You can watch this later anyway, if you want. Claw Mega Boost, I didn't think she would have a Claw Mega Boost or any type of claw skills, because I didn't think she was going to be focused on a claw. But kind of makes sense because she's not really holding a weapon, right? And I believe her paid is probably going to be a claw then, I assume. But And there is a good claw as well, which we'll look at once we get to equipment. But if we don't get the unit, then are we actually going to do that? I'll probably talk about that in a minute then, just quickly. After I talk about this unit, just to see. But there are a few good claws. There's one in particular that you probably know of. Is based on poison too, I think. Decoy's nice to have. Thrall of God. About to start with only one other ally is God type strength defense into mind plus 10%. It's interesting. Only one other ally is God type. So you've got to think about that. But it's a nice bonus, I guess. And then we come to the 4 unique skills that this unit has. Give curse and spirit riot to an enemy. Riot to an enemy that defeats the unit. So this is kind of like a skeleton. I don't know if anyone really knows too much about this, but there's a few people that did it with a suicide skeleton build, kind of in arena or any other place, but mostly for arena. Basically, when the unit dies, they inflict a random status ailment. This is kind of like that, but give curse and spirit riot to an enemy that defeats the unit once per wave. So it only activates once, so you can't really abuse this in arena. You can't really, it's not really active every time the unit dies. That would have been really good, but it could still be somewhat useful in arena potentially if they have lower curse resistance, but I personally like to have some curse resistance because it's quite annoying. Now, we got a lot of words on this skill, but don't worry, it's quite simple. Critical damage cap 3000. I don't really like critical damage cap because it's very conditional and it's not all the time active, so kind of sad. Against enemies with poison or deadly poison. There you go. Chance for skill attacks to enemies with poison or deadly poison to insta-kill. Now, that insta-kill, I personally really like insta-kill, especially for certain maze stages, or, yeah, like the first maze that we got in the beta was kind of focused on insta-kill skills being very useful. This could be good, pretty good, but I don't know what the chance of insta-kill is. I'm just going to assume it's normal chance, whatever that is. So, it's pretty nice to have it, and having more damage cap, even though it's critical damage cap and I have had poison, it's okay. But I personally wouldn't focus on a full crit build. I mean, she does have claw boost, so that does give critical damage. So you could try and focus on a crit build if you really want to, which could be interesting. I mean, I can see a build in arena kind of focused on poison and damage, and it could have some potential, but I'm not sure. When unit is poison, physical damage 15% damage cap 1000. So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, is if she has poison or deadly poison, she does more damage. When she has deadly poison, then 25% physical damage and 3000 damage cap. It's quite interesting because poison doesn't really affect you very much, I believe. I mean, I don't really know really what it does. I mean, it probably just, you gradually take some damage, but who really cares about that, because you've got like a Spirit Maiden 3 on your team. You're just doing a bunch of healing anyway, so why does it matter? Well, if you think of it like that, if you have someone like 3 on your team that can remove the poison, you don't really want that, do you? Because you want the poison to be active on this unit, so they can do more damage. And I don't know if deadly poison counts as one of the basic status ailments. I don't think so, because if so, then that means that Theria's skill 2 can't remove deadly poison, and Cure All can't remove it either, but I don't know about that. I'm just thinking about it because I don't really know too much about it. But the final skill here is quite interesting. I'll kind of want to know more about the skill. When giving poison or deadly poison / illness, chance to give debilitating poison debuff. So this is a new debuff, which is interesting. I kind of want to know more about this really. Damage dealt plus minus 20%, so the enemy deals less damage, and regularly take dark damage, magic damage, with gradually boosted power. So that kind of makes me think of, you know, Spirit Riots, that the enemy gradually takes damage, but I don't know how much damage that is, and if it scales off the unit's magic damage, and things like that, because if it could scale off the unit's magic damage and dark damage, that could be incredibly strong, but I don't expect it's going to be like that. Because imagine if the unit can't remove their poison in arena and they have this ailment, or they have this debuff, that they gradually take magic damage, and they are taking a lot of damage because the unit is so focused on magic damage and dark damage. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to do very much, but just imagine if that was the case, though. It could have some potential, but I don't think so. Remove debuff if poison or deadly poison or illness is healed. So I'm assuming if they have both poison and illness, if they remove the poison, this debuff is still going to be active because they still got one of the ailments on, right? I mean, she's going to inflict so much poison that the unit's probably going to have this most of the time anyway. So I think this sounds pretty good. Like, what I'm thinking is she has less damage, but her damage is mostly focused on damage over time instead. So she got damage over time from poison and deadly poison, and she's also got extra damage over time from this debilitating poison, which does stack with poison. So it sounds like in the perfect world I can imagine that it could be very strong, but obviously I don't think it's going to be because it's never really been strong to begin with. So I have some hope, but at the same time I don't, because I don't really have that high expectations for this unit. But at the same time, I really like ailment units, so ailment units do have more, they last longer than more typical units that just do damage. So I do kind of like it at the same time. So I think this unit's interesting and I do want to try her out, but I don't know if I'm going to get her today because I don't plan to do that many summons, but we'll come to that in a bit. Let me just have a look at a few weapons real quick, because I don't know if we'll even get her today. I hope so. We'll do pulls in a little bit, we'll get to that later on, because I don't want to do that too well. I've got quite a lot of pulls to do. I'll show you my tickets in a bit. I did try and farm some more tickets yesterday, so I did get some more tickets. Let me just filter by claw. Dark claws. So the one claw I was thinking about was this one. Regular attacks have a chance to poison an enemy. Damage to poison enemies plus 50%. This is basically the perfect claw for this unit. This is kind of the best claw. This is 50% damage is just way too much for a weapon. So I can see some synergy and some potential here. I don't think there's a Godforged version of this. I'm pretty sure there isn't. And I think there's a paid claw too, but I think this is her best damage claw, and it's also dark, which is perfect. For arena, I don't know how strong she's going to be in arena. I have an idea of having a focused ailment team based on this unit and inflicting poison and doing a bunch of damage with Terramelf and stuff like that, but I don't know. It could be good, but at the same time I don't think so, because I don't think her skills are really focused on arena either. But let's look at the arc next. I didn't really look too much at this arc, I kind of just briefly looked at it. The art is again always amazing. I do like it. Stats, whatever, don't really care about stats. The arc traits, boost damage dealt based on number of poison allies / enemies, maximum of 30%. It doesn't say how much per enemy or ally, like 3% per enemy or something, because that would have been nice to know. But personally, that kind of synergizes with the unit, but at the same time, there are better arcs to use for damage. Like we've got the Game Master arc, always 40% damage if you have the fish. Like, I'm always going to go to that example because it's the best one for damage in general. But 30% isn't the best, would have been higher. Poison resistance -2, but blind and curse and stun resistance +1. I can definitely see that being useful 100% in arena, or as the main place really. Maybe in the maze or something, I don't know, but Having more resistances for ailments is always useful. During status ailments, physical damage cap plus 1500, which is not bad, but melee mare is basically double that. So if you have melee mare, use that instead, 100%. But this is kind of like a budget melee mare UR arc, kind of. I mean, I would like to think of it like that. But not the best trait, but it's something. It's okay. Skills, critical up, poison counters, quite interesting. During counter, chance to get poison. We still don't really have that many units or really anything at all that focuses on counter. We have one from the Persona collab, Violet, I believe, but again, the counter's so terrible that you don't really use it at all. But maybe in the future it could be useful, but I don't really see that happening. I mean, you could try and put counter on the unit, on this new unit, and then put poison counter on her, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Poison power is actually amazing. Think about it. Physical damage to poison enemies plus 30% for 4 SC. Think about that for a second. The new unit can inflict poison a lot, and she decreases the enemy poison ailment resistance, and she can do even more damage to enemies with poison and take less damage to enemies with poison. I think this is amazing, especially for this new unit. It can synergize very well. Even not, you could put this on other units like melee, and that's going to be pretty good. So I like this. It's very good, because 4 SC is very cheap for 30% physical damage, but they do have to be poison. But if you're using an ailment unit, then they're going to be poison most of the time anyway if you try and focus more on it. So I like it. Corrosion Fang, Strong Remedy, don't really care about those, because I think we've seen them before. And Two-Handed Spear Boost is actually very good. It's 6 SC, and it increases damage cap by 3000. Interesting. I like that. It's not like Two-Handed Spear, because it's not as expensive. It's like a cheaper version. It's the single wood version. Two-Handed Spear. Okay, well, I like that because we've been seeing a few of these skills, mostly for swords, but when only one weapon is one spear, then you do more damage and get more damage cap. This could be useful for like Varn, Vayne, or whatever you want to call him, or that's probably the main example I can give, really, because he can equip any weapon. There are some earth spears, so that could be a good option, but again, we've got sword boost, so we could use that instead. It's an interesting arc. I wouldn't chase for it because it's a permanent arc. I don't chase for anything in this banner. Don't chase for anything because they're permanent. They'll come back later all the time. You'll get them when you don't want them. Trust me. It's going to happen. Probably. This arc it's not bad. I'm kind of okay with it. The arcade reward is a spear, which is dark attribute. It is a decent spear. Physical damage plus 10%, damage to enemies with status ailments plus 20% too. That's pretty good spear. You could stack this with the Venocleave Claw, whatever it's called. Could stack it with that, and it could be good. But you could also use other equipments if you want, like swords instead, like Muramasa and things like that. But it's still a good spear. Yeah, I think it's a good arc, but I wouldn't chase for it. If you get it, you get it. If not, you get it later on. That's what I like to think. So, interesting unit and arc. I don't know what to think about them yet because I really want to test them out, but at the same time, I don't think we're going to get the unit or the arc today, but I really hope so. I personally pronounce DD or DD because that's the best that I have. It sounds really bad, and I don't know how else to pronounce that apart from that. Because it's basically just a D, and then you've got a D, so it it's just funny. That's all. But we'll come back to in a bit to the summons, but the weird name we'll get back to. But let's look at training space. We also got to have a look at the time trial, because that did end. I was focused on that quite a bit. At the start of the time trial, I wasn't that too enthusiastic about it. I was kind of just doing it casually. But towards the end, I was kind of pushing a bit more because I kind of understood more of it and was figuring out new builds and strategies. Let's have a look at the event. So we got accessories, whatever, just an event accessory, a prism. Make sure to get it because she's a permanent unit. Might as well. God Relic Prism Shard. I do have 10 right now, I can craft one. Make sure to get these. I can't say this enough. Make sure to get these because they're very good. Having the ability to increase the SC of any unit you want is just very good, because I'm just going to save them up. I'm going to get them. Premium gacha tickets. Okay, I am thinking now that there's probably going to be a ticket gacha that gives rate up for the unit, right? I didn't think about that. If I had time, I would have farmed this event. But since I started the stream early, I'm going to have to do it in the stream instead, aren't I? Well, we'll see when we get to it. I kind of want to check out the missions and the event itself, but I'm going to do that once we get to it. Which I want to get to it now. Yeah, don't pity anything, because they're both permanent. And this is the rare opportunity we get to save for once. So, Paid Claw, Dark Attribute, the stats are actually pretty good. HP, Strength, Intelligence, kind of makes sense. So, damage cap to enemies with stats ailments plus 3000. For a dual wield unit, that's incredibly strong. Boost physical damage based on intelligence and continuous aura effect. I love it. I love it. I love it. This could potentially be better than the Venocleave, but I don't know, because the ability to have a Thaumaturgy Ring, well, Thaumaturgy Ring in general is just a huge damage increase. I don't know what it actually is, but I know it feels pretty strong, and having continuous aura, I'm gonna get this claw, and you won't stop me, because I'm gonna end up getting this unit in the future probably anyways, and having this claw is not going to come back. So if you want any of these paid equipments and you don't get the unit, just get them anyway, because it's basically future proofing your account. That's what I like to think. So I really like this claw. This is actually a pretty high tier claw in my opinion. Even though it's only for her, it's still pretty good. Accessory, I don't know what it is. Stats or whatever. Duration of stats ailments give my unit plus 20%. I personally don't care too much about that, because if you're inflicting a lot of stats ailments anyway, it's just gonna, you know, keep refreshing the timer. During stats ailments, boost strength and intelligence by 10%. Okay, damage taken minus 20% is actually good. Okay, I see. So, basically, if she has a stats ailment, then she has more stats and takes less damage. Not my favorite accessory. It gives resistance to stun and nil. Why would it give nil to illness? I mean, wait, I think she has... Okay. Okay. I think she has weakness to illness, right? So, that's a slight problem if she's trying to cast things. Which she does cast things. So, I can see that being useful mostly for that ailment resistance. And, I mean, it's still good, but would I use it? Would I go for it specifically? Probably not. I personally would just go for the claw and not get the accessory, because this is paid crystals we're talking about, and it's on a permanent unit, and usually the first, well, always the first one you get is cheaper because of this step gacha you're getting credentials from. So I'm probably just going to get this claw and not get the accessory, even though the accessory is pretty good. I don't want to get it because I don't think it's worth it, the paid crystals really. But the claw, for sure. Taking 20% less damage is actually quite significant though, but if the unit has to have an ailment on herself, then it kind of limits the usage of this accessory. So I'm going to go for the claw once we get to it in a bit, but that's what I think of the equipment. If you plan to get one of them, or if you just have enough or whatever, I think the claw is the way to go. So what's my plan now? I don't know, there's a few things I want to do. So let me just show you a few things first. And I kind of want to do the event. Because, well, let me just look at event missions first, because I just want to check. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a few tickets in here, I believe. Yeah, a bunch of stuff, tickets. I kind of want to get these tickets as soon as possible and use them. So then we save our permanent tickets that we got and hopefully start building them up again. Now, is there a temple ticket down here or not? Usually, or maybe they have them in part 2. I don't see it. But clear this 30 times to get 2 more tickets. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get all these tickets. Yeah, there's no temple ticket or anything here, but I kind of want to do the event. But when? I don't know. Now, I could, but I've also got to do summons and look at a few things first. So, I have a lot of tickets, by the way, and I did get another temple ticket yesterday. If you want to know how, missions. Check the damn missions, do those missions. And the one I'm talking about is the one down here. This one. Perform Godforge Enhancement. If you perform Godforge Enhancement many times, you can get so many tickets from that, and they give temple tickets as well, so do that if you want a chance to get something. Most of the time you won't get anything. So what do I want to do now? Well, let me just briefly check the news. There are more free pulls, the premium gacha event, blah blah, normal time trials, other event stuff. Not really going to cover most of that because it's kind of normal stuff. I'm just going to have a look at what is here. Might as well do this. So obviously the new unit isn't going to be here. It goes up to Mia. I'm going to do it so I don't forget. I think there's still an SSR rocker missing from here, but I still haven't gotten it. I don't expect anything from this because most of the free pulls I've gotten no reds from. But this looks like a red, but it doesn't really matter at all. What do we get from here? It's just a free pull. And there's no new unit in here. So, can't really be excited about anything. Yeah, whatever. Are you, what, how many, plus 20, okay. Well, he's bad anyway, so I'm not going to use him. But it's nice, at least. Remember to get those free pulls, because they're very good. Vaughn is still here, Vayne is still here. And that's it. Premium ticket gacha, there we go. Probability is rate up. That's why I want to get the tickets, because it has rate up. I want to do that as soon as possible before using these. So my plan is, I'm just going to use a single. My plan is to do step gacha first until we get enough paid credentials for the claw. After that we'll do the event and then come back to tickets. And then we'll leave it at that and see what happens, I guess. Kind of do things a bit differently this time, just for the sake of it. I do have some unit guarantees, but I really don't think we have a good chance of getting her. She's in there, and the Ark is in there. I checked yesterday, and I think from all of these tickets, we have like a 40% chance-ish of getting her from all those tickets in total. which is okay, but at the same time it's not the best. Let's do lap 1 and get enough credentials, hopefully. I think it should be one of those cases that it's got cheaper step gacha pools, right? There is an incredibly slim chance that we get her from these step gacha pools, and that will save a lot of time, but I don't think that's going to happen. No reds, there is a reds. Okay, well that's surprising. Imagine, I won't because it didn't happen, but that would have been great. I'm trying to save my crystals right now, so I'm only going for the claw because I think it's incredibly strong. Can we get the unit from this step gacha? Probably not. Probably not. If it's a blue, I'm skipping. There's no red in here. Only blues. These are the only crystals that we're going to be using today. Because I'm not one of those guys that's going to wail for a permanent unit. I would never do that. I've never done that. Have I? I mean, not super hard. I mean, Murren is a different thing because he had a UR arc on his banner, so that's kind of a different scenario, really. Blue, I don't have hope for this. It has to be enough animations, and yeah, it's gonna go gold. Even with enough animations, it's not guaranteed anything, because the animations are random. There is a red in as a unit, but what do you think it's gonna be? Personally, I haven't really, I think I haven't gotten any dupes on Murren yet. Luke Keller's already a plus 20, so that doesn't matter. It would have been nice to get her right there, because then I could not worry about anything and save my tickets even longer, but I think this is the day that you know what's going to happen. Let's do this temple, because it's 1,000 paid crystals for a temple is very cheap, and I don't think we're going to do the next one. We should be close to enough credentials after this temple. This is the only temple we're doing today with rate up, so everything's relying on this temple. No pressure. It's a blue. It's not good, but Tharia is showing up with everyone. Again, I'm not really too fussed about what we get today, but I would really like to get her if possible because I would like to test her. But we'll see. No red, really. 2 animations wasn't enough, apparently. If it was a gold, it would have been a better chance, but at least it still gives Mother Souls, right? How many, let me check the trading space to see how many credential things we got, because I don't want to go too many. Because I think I'm just going to do singles, right? This is the event, which we'll do soon, and we are at 21. So my plan, 4 singles right now, and that's it. Actually, let me think. So you could do 4 singles for 3, 6, 9, 12,000. 4 singles for 12,000 paid crystals, or you could do a temple for 2,000 instead. Well, you know what I'm going to do, because this is worth it. Because you're basically paying 800 paid crystals for 6 pulls at that point. If you think about it like that, I mean, we're not going to get a red anyway. It's a gold, so more hopeful than the previous one at least, but not enough for me. Two animations is still not enough, apparently. Well, that's the last pull we're doing today. Not doing any more pulls today. with crystals. Can't emphasize that enough. We're doing tickets. I've gotten lucky with tickets previously. I've been pretty lucky with the last permanent units, not gonna lie. From event tickets, I think. Especially, I think with Mia, I got her from... I've gotten a few of them actually, a lot of them. Let's get the claw. I want that right now. There we go. Even if we don't get the unit, we can get her in the future when she's outdated and be sad. But right now, that's not the case. I got 6 left. Obviously, it was kind of a waste of 800 paid crystals, but it means we have 6 credentials to use on potions or more gold, which I'm gonna go for the potions probably, because I'm not doing more paid summons at all. At this point I could probably switch over to the Steam version. I'm gonna do that right now, because I'm not using more paid crystals. I'm gonna do that. There we go. Close this. Bye. Hello. There we go. I might have to... why is it resized it again? I didn't want you to do that. Move it in the middle, and maybe I've used it for something else, I don't know. Fit the screen. There you go. Right now, I know what people want to see is more summons, right? But I'm not going to do that yet, because I have a few things I want to do first. I'm going to quickly go over the time trial. Now, I didn't have time, and I kind of forgot about doing a video on my runs on this time trial, but it was kind of difficult, because Wave 2 was incredibly long. I had a hard time with Wave 2, so I couldn't get the best time ever, but I'm glad I managed to get below 2 minutes. It took hours of resetting Wave 2, but I got there eventually. Basically, my team was the same as everyone else. This team, but my strategy mostly included timing magic at the perfect time, and in some cases, if Linus gets flinched out of casting, then he can cast another magic really fast and cancel his animation, which sometimes happened and made my time even faster. So that kind of helped too. I was using a few different magics, all of these, because I felt like they were useful. Some enemies had high earth resistance, so I felt like fire was better because they had lower fire resistance. And some enemies, just one enemy had thunder resistance. Well, minus 100 of thunder resistance, which I needed this for, so I thought it went well, but obviously there was things I was missing, like always. Some part of the strategies that I was missing, but I still did pretty well, I think. I'm gonna collect these rewards right now so I don't forget. Ben's birthday. More crystals. 3,000 crystals, UR Stardust, a bunch of stuff, I love it. I'm still stacking up my UR Stardust. So, my plan right now is to do the event a few times. There's probably going to be a bunch of cutscenes, but I'm going to try and speed through it and just read everything fast because I don't want to waste time on this. But I really want to get the tickets here, just in case we get anything because they have rate up. Because it's happened before where I've not gotten some of the tickets and I've gotten a dupe of the unit later on, which is very sad. Okay. Pantorbane. Pretty sure that's an arc, right? Yeah, Thouser. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I know they're kind of close together, but I don't know more than that. Poison. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I think about them all being about torture and stuff. They're kind of evil. I mean, it's kind of cool when you think about Melee and Lily, because they're amazing units, but they're just some random guy torturing. I don't know. Discovered ruins. Right. I just want the rate up tickets, please. Who can give me some? I don't think we're going to be able to get many, but I'm going to get a few. And then give up and use all my tickets and get nothing and be sad and leave. Poison. All I need is poison nil, and I'm fine. Well, technically she can reduce poison nil down to weakness, potentially. Maybe not. Maybe just poison. Maybe just 0. I don't know. So we got bonus challenge. Do that right now because it resets each day. I don't know what units I'm using for this. Just units that give the most points. Good enough. Let's go. So I'm not going to do this for an incredibly long time, but I at least want to try and speed through this if I can to get a few tickets. This is what everyone should be doing right now, is do the event first before you do anything. Well, I did the step capture first, but that's because I was going to do that anyways. Even if I did get her from the tickets, I was going to do step capture anyway, so it didn't matter to me. Bonus quest, oh yeah, those things. Hello back. Nothing too much going on right now, just doing the event. It'll get more interesting once we do the tickets, but I'm worried about tickets. I mean, a part of me feels like I'm gonna get absolutely nothing from tickets and just get many dupes. Many dupes. But I really don't want that to happen. Bonus quest. Okay. Do any of these give tickets from clearing them? Blown to the sands. Oh. Interesting. Is this kind of like a combined event where they're trying to focus on fun and they're trying to focus on 2 units at the same time? Oh, I can use it right now if I wanted to. $110 SC. Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, this could be the way that we get to use her, right? If we don't actually get her from the tickets. Which is sad. Obviously she doesn't have any skill charges or anything. Her normal attack is a closer range, which I don't like. Or whatever. I don't know. Probably, here's what I think is, since I started this stream earlier, most people watching tweaks, I don't blame them, but at the same time, people also don't really care too much about permanent units, because permanent units seem to be less popular, which I don't blame people about that either, because I agree with that so much. And since I'm not really doing many summons, well, I am. Why are you not here? I do many summons with tickets, but since there's no interesting DOH unit or anything being released, most people don't care. It's the same thing that happens all the time. It was either I did the stream now, or I wait for like 5 hours or so. Yeah, she's not bad. She's interesting, but you know, permanent units. And I mean, some people are gonna just summon for her anyway. Like, I'm sure all the pay to win, not me, but some people like to summon for permanent units just because they like them. And I'm like, why? I mean, I understand why, because you want to use them straight away, but at the same time, permanent units, you could save a bunch of crystals, but some people don't care about saving. They just want things. Yeah, so I see a problem that we haven't even gotten one ticket yet. So, are we even going to be able to get any tickets today? I don't know. I mean, let me just I kind of want to space things out and do a few summons and then come back to the event and do a few summons and do that a few times, so we're not bored. So I'm gonna do that. Most of these are gonna give absolutely nothing, by the way. And these tickets go very fast. No reds here. Really. Today's gonna be the day of no reds day, isn't it? I could do one single summon. And then we're at a perfect number. I'm just going to do 3 temples and then go back to the event just to space things out. It's going to be difficult to put timestamps in this, but I'm going to worry about that later. Skip button is going to be my friend for these tickets. Only one. There's no rate up on anything, by the way, so I mean, yeah, I could definitely download the stream or something and edit it down into separate videos and stuff, but I mean, I don't really want to spend the time doing it, meaning I don't really have the time, and people are fine with the streams anyway. And since I put this timestamps in, you could skip to specific parts anyway. So she automatically uses Poison Drinker at the start. Okay, I think her skill 3 could be good, but I don't know the range of it. And I'm worried that she's not hitting damage cap right now. But it's not. It's 110 SE build. as well. Maybe the enemies just had to have poison or something, I don't know. Maybe most of her damage is locked behind Terra Mouth and the enemies requiring poison. The sticker. Yeah, we're not getting that many points here, are we? So should I even do this? I don't know. I mean, it makes the stream longer. So in a way, I should. And imagine if I get something from one of these tickets. Probably won't. See, they're trying to make her look like this all-powerful unit in this cutscene right now, but we know... See, I don't know about you, but I personally feel like, oh, since she's a permanent unit, she's not as strong, because DO8 units that appear in the story are usually on another level compared to permanent units that appear in the story. I personally feel that. Because you got permanent units like Meredy and Murren. They're not supposed to be powerful on purpose. And you got units like Adele showing up as a DO8 unit. And then you got this unit that nobody has no idea who she is. Makes sense to be permanent. I mean, why was Thouser a DO8 unit? I mean, probably because he was pretty strong in the story. Yeah, Mia's pretty strong. Mostly for arena only, because the damage cap is terrible. A she-beast. Nice. I bet she's just gonna come up against an enemy that can't be poisoned, and she'll be like, oh shit, what do? I can't poison this enemy, I'm screwed. They got nil to poison, what do? I have no idea, I'm stuck. I'm sure that's gonna be really funny. Well, you're screwed now, aren't you? Poison wins again, apparently. I think personally she's probably going to be more of a support unit. But not on the same level. Not a healer. But buffing, well, debuffing enemies. Enabling the team is basically what she does. Probably pretty well. Like, remember, you shift Medine, or, well, I should say, Tinkili, since she is still used right now because she buffs the team so much with damage and damage cap. Having units like that, I want more of those. I know they don't want to release them, they're quite rare. That's why they're so good though. I don't know how many cutscenes there are. For once, I'm hoping there's not many, just so I can speed through it. Yeah. So what you could do is have Melee Mare with Terramouth 3 on any random unit you want, and then put this unit DD in your team to inflict poison, and then that other unit that has melee mare is going to have all that damage cap because the enemies have poison. That's the synergy I'm seeing. Only 300 points, really. And the game's asking me for like 8,000 or so just for a ticket. Really. I remember in the past, some stages did give tickets, but I don't know if it's going to be the same case in this event or not. So I just want to check. I'm not going to do all the stages probably, but I just want to do some of it. And then, I don't know, once we have no tickets I might just do the event anyway, like all of it, because I feel like it. You see her skill 2 is pretty slow. She's only hitting 17k. It's quite bad. But that's because they had no ailments on. I think she's going to be useful in the maze. For sure. Any new unit is, really. So, what is everyone thinking is going to be next after this permanent unit in the next update? I don't know. Either a DOH unit or a collab. When was the last collab? That was Devil May Cry, which was quite a while ago. A month ago? I mean, I don't know if there's going to be a collab right now. I think there's still a wait. Probably. I'm going to assume it's probably a DOH unit. The one collab I want is a rerun of Nier. I want them to do kind of what they did with Devil May Cry and do it as series and a rerun at the same time. Because they could do Nier Automata rerun, but they could also do Nier Replicant collab. That's the one thing I want. That's the only collab I want. I don't want anything else. Any other collab is probably just going to be some random anime that I don't know. I'm just trying to think of all the possibilities of new collabs that they could do. Because I don't know. Obviously, they have access to probably animes a lot easier than things like Devil May Cry and games and stuff, but maybe a rerun of ReZero, but I don't know if they'll even do that. I would love that. That would be great, but I don't think they would. Well, Amelia is meta in Arena and they're still not doing a rerun. Confuses me sometimes. I think that's kind of a good thing really, because you don't want everyone using Amelia. That would be hell. Well, here's the thing, there could be some newer units, or some units in the story that I haven't seen yet because I haven't done the new story that could be the next DOH unit. I get that could happen. Like, the Myver or whatever guy. The fire unit that showed up randomly in the story in the desert. He looked pretty cool. Christmas unit's probably gonna be not yet. I think that's still a... try and remember what date the last Christmas unit was. In December at some point. We still gotta wait. In between, they could do a collab in between that. I can see that as a possibility. But if they do that, then the collab would probably be 3 or 4 weeks, wouldn't it? Because they would extend a collab to make it even longer. having a time trial. But would they have another time trial already? Considering one just happened? I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to have a look at the dates and see what I think is going to happen. So this event probably lasts 2 weeks. So on the 24th is going to be the next unit. I still think we haven't even gotten a ticket yet. That's sad. Yeah, we haven't. Training space tickets, maybe? Yeah, I can do 2 measly tickets. No more tickets, really. So 24th will be the next unit. Either a collab or a DOH unit. I'm just going to do these because I want to. And then after the 24th, it's going to be on the 8th, I think, of December. So I personally feel like the Christmas unit's going to be on the 22nd. Because that's 1 week. Well, that's the week on Christmas. And that just makes sense. Or they could do it 2 weeks earlier, but we'll wait and see, I guess. Because it is. I remember last time the Christmas event being on when there was Christmas at the same time. That was pretty good. I kind of enjoy those events. So I think the next unit is even going to be a DOH unit or a collab, either one. So just bear in mind. I don't know anything about this unit because I haven't seen the story. I don't know if he shows up in the story, I assume he does, but I don't know anything about him. I am interested to know more about him once I do the story. I like the story. Considering it's a DOH unit, it must be pretty strong, right? Stronger than DD. It's still weird saying that. I'm so glad that it wasn't a PP, because I would have just thought that was incredibly funny. I'm glad it's DD and not PP. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, well, I'm probably going to do more ticket summons soon. Kind of feel like using some more tickets. I haven't used any of those guaranteed unit tickets yet. I don't want to use them all in one go, but I have a plan. Every 30 or 40 summons, I'm going to use 2 guaranteed unit tickets. I think. Or maybe not that many, maybe less than that. Well, more summons than that. I want to use 2 guaranteed unit tickets at the same time because then it's more exciting that way. Then the unit doesn't instantly pop up if you get it, and you don't get instantly disappointed before the orb is even opened. I think that's the better way to do it. Nice. Are they allowed to swear in this game? I never know. I mean, it still surprises me, because I don't think the age rating really shows that, does it? I mean, I'm not worried, but it's weird age 12 plus. Can you imagine age 12 playing this game and it's got all these language? I don't know. Maybe nowadays that's normal. I guess it's time to use some more recoveries. Let me come back to that. Yeah, her moan is kind of extreme. I don't know what to think about it. I'm not going to comment on it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to avoid the situation entirely. Because I feel like it's just... We got two, let's use them. I feel like it's just a bit too much. Like, I know they did it on purpose. They just sat down, they were thinking of noises to make this new character, and they were like, oh, let's make a moan noise. And they did a bunch of takes, and they found this to be the best one, the most suitable for this character. For whatever reason. Or maybe they just stole one from a sex scene and decided to use it. It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. So we got 60 more of these, 21 of those, 3 of these, which is whatever. 6 guarantee unit tickets, 15 temple tickets, and a temple guarantee unit ticket. We're gonna be here for a little while, but it's fun. Until we realised we got nothing from all these tickets and it was a waste of time. Let's use a temple with these SR plus tickets. This is gonna give 10 golds, and it's gonna be the most disappointing temple of golds. I mean, you would expect at least a red, right? But the SRs have the same chance as a blue to get a red, so it doesn't matter. As expected from the game. I was just thinking to myself, this animation could be good because there's so many golds, and not just because there's a red. I always feel like these SR plus tickets have a lower chance than these normal tickets. Thuria, I don't have any hope in you anymore. I have no hope for anything today, but... Nah, no red here. Still. I'm gonna stop the no red train, and I'm gonna go to use 2 unit tickets, because I'm tired of seeing nothing. 2 at a time. This is where it gets supposedly interesting, but I don't think so. At least we know it's guaranteed 2 reds, but who am I hoping for? Apart from the new units, a dupe of Shift Gorm or Murren or Mia. I think that's it. I don't think there's anyone else that would actually be useful for dupes. And getting one of those units out of all the units that are here quite small. It's like a 1 in 36 to get a specific unit. Yeah, this is going to be one of those. You just get a bunch of these old units that you don't care about all the time. Yeah, we're not going to get anything from these tickets. It's just a waste of tickets. We'll do one more. And then I'm just going to go back to the event. And then come back here again. Can I at least get a red? No comment. Okay, but it's not going to be anything. There's only one. Why is there only one of them? We're still missing... Well, at this point, what we're missing is 2 SSRs and 1 unit. Which means if it's going to be new, it's more than likely going to be an arc than a unit. Unless we're using guaranteed unit tickets. Tinkili, I believe, is already at plus 20. Yeah. At least we got a unit, right? At least we're getting somewhere. Not really. I'd like to think that. But I'm just coming up with random copium. Back to the event, we're only at 3,000 points. This is Why are points so hard to get in this? I just want to speed through it, but I can't. They're really not giving that many tickets, it looks like. Which, why? There was only 2 tickets in here. I got those 2 tickets. Oh, there's 2 more here. Okay, great. What am I supposed to do with 2 measly tickets? Use them and get what? Blues? And that's it? Sure. Why not? It's better than nothing. Crimson Ore is something, right? Crimson Ore is still nice to save, so I guess it's okay. I think with the SSR gacha tickets, I'm just gonna use them. Because why not? He's hitting for 72k, which actually isn't bad at all. Not bad. If we get anything new today from those tickets, I'm gonna be surprised. So I can't be disappointed if I get a new arc and not the unit. I can, but I shouldn't be, because that's being ungrateful. I'm sure this is what most people is going to be dealing with in this update. Trying to use tickets to hopefully get a unit and get nothing and be disappointed and want to not exist anymore, but trust me, it's not worth it to summon on a permanent unit. Unless you really want to. I have a decent amount of free crystals, but saving is important. And we're getting a free crystals from these stages, even though it's 5 per mission completed. It's not much. They're kind of tight. He's just walking and not even. Haha, haha. Okay, fine. You got me. Basically like a Zhongli. Well, should have expected something like this to happen, right? A giant wall come out of nowhere. I still think this is just a strange enemy. It's just a building. Bye. Okay. It doesn't look like a robot. I mean, obviously it is, but... Okay. I've seen this many times before. Too easy. I swear they should make these event stages harder and more difficult. Give us a reason to use our stronger units. Well, they kind of do it like that. They have all the normal stages quite easy, and then they have at least one high difficulty stage, but even those sometimes feel easy, most of the time. Sure. I still think it's funny how he's arranged DPS, and he uses his fist doesn't quite make sense, but it doesn't need to. Well, that should be those stages done. Yep, because I got a sticker. I should be able to trade for those 2 tickets, use them and get nothing. It just still feels like a waste of time, but it's fine. We're almost at 1.5 hours. There's the last stage of the stream. Usually I would have the unit by 1 hour, but this is a special case where it's a permanent unit. I don't entirely remember what happened with the last permanent unit, Mia. I think I got her from an event ticket, right? I swear there was someone that I got from a normal ticket. Maybe. 450 points. Flash Quest versus Gaborg. Okay. You're getting somewhere. Would have been amazing if there was a Flash Quest that gave tickets, but it was super rare. Obviously they wouldn't do that. I don't need no multiplayer. So Mia was 3 months ago. They should make more permanent units. Mia was 3 months ago. And I got her from something. I think I got her from permanent tickets, right? Pretty sure I did. So that's not gonna happen again. Definitely not. Yeah, that was... Yeah, I got Mia from permanent tickets last time, which was 3 months ago. That's not gonna happen. And those were from normal tickets too. That was insanely lucky. It's not gonna happen this time. We've already used quite a few of those tickets. We still have those temple tickets and a few unit guarantees, but I don't think anything's gonna happen. We'll see. I'll tell you what, if we don't get her, I'm still gonna try and talk about her and what I think she's gonna be like, even without the testing. But I'm not gonna have the best judgment on that, but it's gonna be something. Let me just do all these stages at least once. We should have enough to get those 2 tickets from the shop, and that's it. If you think about it, we haven't really had dark DPS in quite a while. I don't remember the last one we had properly, because I know Log Zeus was on the top as a dark DPS for an incredibly long time, and now he's kind of outdated. At least that's what I think. I haven't really used him in months. We need more ice DPS. I don't know why they're not giving us more ice DPS. We're only getting summer and Christmas units as an ice DPS, and that's not enough. That's way too little amount. 2 ice units per year. Ridiculous. Flash quest again. I'm hoping the flash quests give the most points. I didn't actually look at that really. Because if you think about it, permanent units in the past have been top tier units, or at least pretty strong. Like Shift Gorm, Guardian Angel Lukel. Those are the main 2 examples, but even units like Mia were pretty decent, because they're pretty strong in the arena. And Murren is actually pretty good. So there have been some cases when they've been pretty good, and Tinkili too. A few of them have been pretty good, but not many. Still haven't even gotten that 1 ticket from that quest that needs 6,800 points. Another bonus quest. Because I can definitely picture of an arena team that has DD in the team inflicting poison, and everyone else in the team has a DPS unit, or at least some other DPS unit in the team that has Terra Melt 1, 2, and 3, or at least 1 and 2, and that poison skill from the arc, they can do ridiculous damage. Or even for your attack team. I don't know if I would do that. Maybe. Okay, we should get the 2 tickets here. 2 tickets is still just nothing. They should give more tickets. 2. Great. Woo. Imagine something good from those 2 tickets. Now, which is the best stage for points? I'ma check. I'ma do this one first. The other one costs 2 energy. I'm assuming the one that costs 2 energy is probably the best one. It probably has to. $300 points from that. That means the other stage has to give at least 600. Or more. Probably gonna give 600. If it's less than 600, I'm gonna be surprised. There we go. 450. Okay, well, I've decided the stage that costs 1 energy is actually better for points, for whatever reason. Maybe this stage has a high chance to get those bonus stages, because I just got one, but I don't know. I'm just going to do this, and then I guess we'll be done for the moment. And we'll just have tickets. Which are going to get nothing, which is sad. I really hope we get the unit, but at the same time it's not really a big deal. But it is kind of, not really. Yeah, I would like to test them out, but it's not important. $7,500 points right now, should get one ticket from here. Yeah. Next ticket is at 14,000. I'm not going to get that right now. I'm going to have to find that later on. So that means we can't really get any more tickets right now unless we spent a bunch of time. Which I don't think is worth doing it in this stream because I've already spent more time than I wanted to doing this. This is probably going to give nothing. 100% nothing, but I'm going to watch the animation just because, yeah, nothing. Not even an animation there. But it was a gold, so at least it went up to something. Okay, so now we use all of these tickets and get nothing. Apart from Crimson Ore. And then after that, I don't think we can do anything else, can we? The last, oh this is terrible unless it's a shown up note, skip. The last unit, Mia, we got from the single tickets, the silver tickets, but that's not going to happen this time. We've only got 40 of these left. We got Mia from these tickets last time. That was incredibly lucky. The chance to get DD, if it's a unit, is 1 in 36. This is a skip. I'm just going to watch it just because. No reds here, obviously. Obviously. Well, there is. Really? Lilibet gave a red for once, but it's a dupe of another arc that I've got many times. If you look at the chance of getting a specific unit or an arc from this, it's so rare. Blue, damn it. Waiting for the red to pop up at the beginning, but even a red doesn't mean anything because dupes. There's not enough animations to get a red, like I said. I don't know why, but I feel like all of these tickets and free summons have less chance to get a red. It feels that way. I feel like I get more reds from the actual crystal summons. Gold? No, still not good enough for a red, unless... this is not good enough. I got one more left, and then it's... We've still got over 100 summons left, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There's a gold, but it doesn't mean anything because the game likes to troll. Can I get at least one new thing today? At least. We haven't got a temple with more than one red yet, and we still haven't. Still nothing new, but there's a Murren. You know what, I'll take that, because I was asking for that earlier. That's one of the dupes that I would happily take, because he's not bad. That's not bad. But it's not the new unit, it was close. Let's use I'm gonna use these 3 because I don't think we care too much about arcs. And there are more arcs than there are units in here. I'm missing 2 arcs from here, so chance of getting a new one is very slim. Incredibly slim. It won't happen. But I'm pretty sure dupes give Crimson Ore, which is not the worst thing ever. Yeah, each one gives a Crimson Ore. 130. Make sure to save that for the UR Stardust each month. Still somewhat useful, right, I guess. Yeah, we're just gonna use all of these. Get nothing from it, I bet. It's still worth trying, because we've done it in the past from Mia. It's happened once. Can I at least get a red from it this time? Or 2, or something new? Because I don't know. Yeah, I guess. There is a red, but it's a unit. That doesn't mean anything. It's a 1 in 36. So on that means it would take 36 units to get DD if you had average luck. Which I don't. At this point, I do not. We have 140 summons left. Also, another temple with a guaranteed unit and 4 guaranteed units. This is the best chance we've got. I mean, we've had our best chance. That was using the crystals on the step catcher, and we blew that terribly. I'm gonna use a few of these and use 2 unit tickets, and then just kind of space things out. These tickets go incredibly fast. You won't realize it. Nothing here. There's a gold, but it doesn't mean anything. Apart from... yeah, we're not going to get anything new today, are we? We're getting a few more reds at this point, which is good. Red, red, new. I would like new, but I'm not hoping. Should I hope? Nah. It's an arc, damn it. Unless there's 2 reds, there's not. Yeah. Well, it looks like we're not going to get a unit today, which is a first for me. But it's not worth using crystals. So, let's just skip. No, it's not. Still nothing new. How do I get the exact same arc that I got just now? It must be more rare than actually getting an arc that I don't have. Let's use 2 of these. Shift Gorm dupe is okay. I think that's the one I want the most. Apart from DD. Double D. You should call her that. She's called Double D. They did that on purpose. I swear they did. More dupes, more prisms. I think the unit dupes are the most useless because, hey, Shift Gorm, that's actually good for once. It's a +10. $11 more of these. I'm using Gorm in my arena team right now, on my attack team, blue. So more SC is basically just more survivability for Gorm at that point. Yeah, no red on this one. We've got 10 left. And then 3 guaranteed units. Nothing. I'm still gonna try and get some more tickets, but well, at least you can watch them later if you want. See ya, I guess. Watch us get nothing though. I mean, you won't be here to watch, but nothing new. Mia, really? I don't know what to say. That was almost a DD, but it wasn't because it was Mia. Okay, well, I don't like that. I really don't. I'm not. I don't. I could have just been DD and then it would have been perfect. And then we could be here for even longer. But actually, if we end it now, then I can have my lunch finally. Because I'm actually at lunchtime right now. This temple's got nothing in it. As predicted from me. The genius of summons that predicts the future. We still haven't had a red show up from that orb thing. I just don't think it's gonna happen. 1 animation, 2 animation. I don't think so. I know so. We're starting to run out of summons. But we're getting Crimson Ore. So I guess that's fine. I'm gonna use this one now. This has a guaranteed 1 unit at the end. It could be a second unit in the between, and it could be a DD, but nah. Funny thing is, if it shows a arc animation, that means we got 2 reds, but it doesn't have any. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any extra reds here. There's only 1 as well, and it's a terrible unit. You're not even at plus 20 yet, I'm surprised. I thought you would be. Personally, I'm just glad to be using these tickets because it's a skip from me unless it's a no. Didn't expect a red, but it's a dupe. Many dupes, plus 1. Wow. I don't know what to say about these summons because they're not bad, but at the same time they're not the best either. Because we've got a Murren and a Shift Gorm and a Mia. So for someone else that didn't have those units, it would have been perfect. But for someone like me, no, not really. No, this one's bad. I'm not going to skip because I like to see the animation. Well, I don't when it's terrible like this. Skip button. Yeah, we didn't get anything today. Nothing new, at least. Which is sad. I'm gonna use these 2 unit tickets. These are last guarantee units we got. And that's it. I don't know what else to say or do at this point. I mean, here's what I'm thinking is DD can appear when we're doing summons for someone else. So, let's say we're doing summons for the unit in 2 weeks from now, and we get a DD, I would be happy and mad at the same time, because it wouldn't be the unit that I'm going for at the time, but we'll see. More dupes. They're not terrible units, but I don't care, because I think they're already at plus 20. So, yeah. Let's just skip, unless it's a red. No. Haven't seen you in a while. He used to be a good unit when he came out. They should do more shifts, like the shift of him would be pretty nice, potentially. Actually, he was more about a crit DPS, wasn't he? Still a blue, damn it. Well, we got 2 temples left after this one, and that's it. Nothing. Two reds from this, or one? Just one, again, damn it. Nothing. These are quite a lot of dupes, I guess. I'm still refusing to use crystals, by the way, I'm not gonna. Because it's a permanent unit, it's not worth doing. I can still see her being useful though. Nope. If I try and think of how lucky I was with Mia, that was incredibly lucky. That was probably the luckiest I've been in tickets. Well, maybe not. No, this one's nothing. Well, this one's the last temple and we didn't get a red from this, so I could use a few crystals, but I said I wasn't going to. Because literally the worst temple you get. I have 96,000 free crystals. I don't think I have any more tickets available to use. Probability on this ticket gacha is right up, by the way. One thing I could do is I could do the daily paid gacha, these ones daily, to see if I get anything, but I don't think it's a good idea to do that. And I might just do a few singles for the sake of it, but I don't know. I just checked the shop, I think there's a few free packs or something. This one. See, at this point I would like more tickets, right? But I don't think I can really get any more tickets to use. Because missions... This one, but not getting that anytime soon. Perform God Alchemy, you get a single ticket. Not even worth doing. These are worth doing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to leave it at that. I kinda wanna just do singles until I get a red. For the sake of... I don't know. Trying. And then I'll finish it off there. I guess I can talk about the unit itself. I think she's decent. I can't really say because I haven't really tried her, but the ability to inflict ailments has always been very useful in this game. Like, Logia's been a top unit. Well, he was a top unit for a long time. When he came out, he was a bit too strong. But right now he's kind of outdated, but it can still work. Is this a red or is it just a troll summon? If it's a red, then it's going to save the other 3 crystals. Because that means we can stop here. Probably troll summon, isn't it? I mean... yeah, there's not going to be anything new from this. But I think she looks like a decent unit. Poison... I don't know how good the poison is, but... there's a dupe. I was kind of hoping, but... I shouldn't. The one thing you shouldn't do. I think she's a good unit, but I don't know, her DPS is a bit on the low side. And I'm stalling for time. Till we get one red. Again. For the sake of content. Don't worry, I have 3 crystals to save, already 90k, so it doesn't matter. Blue's not enough for me, sorry, game. I'm gonna go one more red and I'm gonna end the stream in 2 seconds. Yeah, trust me. I got her paid weapon, by the way, but it means if I get her in the future, any time in the future, then I'll have her with the paid. Because paid equipments don't come back. They really don't. Unless they get added to the Crimson shop, which they don't really. It's not really that often. I also wouldn't recommend to do it because they are quite expensive and you could just spend the Crimson Ore on the UR Stardust, which is quite valuable instead. They seriously not going to give me a second red just because they're being funny. Well, I do need to kind of get a few crystals, paid crystals, saved up for the next unit or whatever's coming. But just one red. I don't care what it is. Just one. So I can get the Crimson Ore and be done. And leave. And not touch this gadget for 2 weeks. Maybe. I don't want to touch this gadget anymore. But the game is making me do this. For the sake of a red. Still no red. I swear, we've been doing this for too long. And there hasn't been a red for so long. This is why you don't summon at all, but I have to. I'm committed to the cause of single summons that I need a red to stop the clicking on the screen. Maybe we'll make it to 2 hours. I'm not stopping till we get a red. I'm committed. Hey, but it's a dupe. Oh, Marin, that's fine, that's fine. Well, that's all we're doing today. I don't think I do anything else. I'm gonna just quickly go to training space and trade everything away. Oh, we did too many on that one. That's not how many we did. That's not how many we did. We did. Some of them were paid crystals. Most of them were. We did like 11 pulls with paid crystals, and then we did another 10 pull, and then another 10 pull. So let me exchange for these 3. We'll use those, and then we're done for today. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks from now. Fun times. This is the time for the single pulls to really kick in, but it's not doing it for me today. Imagine if I did all those 80 single tickets as single pulls. That would have been fun. I'm not going to wait this out because I know there's no red in here. Unless it looks incredibly promising, but it won't. Has to be a Zekers or Thoria with a gold showing up. The blue is not good enough. Yeah, nothing from these single tickets, but it's worth trying. Well, thanks for watching, I guess. 10 seconds and they're going to reach 2 hours, hooray. I'm going to be back in 2 weeks for the next stream, whatever that is, I don't know. It would have been nice to get the unit, but I refuse to do more summons because it's a permanent unit. Even though I did still get her weapon, she's gonna be available in the permanent gacha, and there isn't that much reason to summon for a permanent unit other than the sake of getting them early, right? I mean, it gets them out of the way, so they don't surprise you later on, and then you get disappointed. So I think she's pretty solid, but I can't say for sure because I haven't really tested her properly, so go check out other people for that, because for this time I'm not the person for that. But anyways, I think that's all for the stream. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I don't know what it's going to be, either a collab or a DUH unit, that's my guess. I have a lot of work to do until Christmas, so I'm not going to have that much time to do any videos or anything, unless I have any ideas or stuff. But I'm mostly going to be chilling out and doing my own thing. Pokemon releases in 8 days, I'm going to be doing a lot of that, but I can't do any videos or anything on that because on the Switch, so I'm sure people don't care anyways. But anyway, I'll see you in 2 weeks, hopefully. Hopefully your tickets are better than mine. I mean, my tickets are still not bad because we got 2 Murren dupes, and a Shift Gorm and a Mia, so that's kind of okay. For most people's account, that would have been incredibly good. But it takes a long time to save those crystals.